I'm Phil Williams, and I would like to welcome you to Audio Angling, the podcast site of fishingfilmsandfacts.co.uk. What I'm going to do here is take a step back to 1988, specifically Thursday the 7th of January 1988, to Lancashire's Fylde coast, at a time when it was famed for the quality of its winter jumbo cod fishing. On the evening before the day in question, the inshore forecast was given as good, the tide was big, and high water was around midday, so everything looked set for a decent shot at some big cod. I remember this particular Thursday very well myself, as I was in Southport further down the coast that morning for a meeting I couldn't get out of, and obviously I was kicking myself that I would be missing out on a good crack at the fish. But when I came out of that meeting just before lunchtime, it was like stepping into another world. The wind was howling, trees were waving about, and litter was quite literally swirling around everywhere. I remember thinking to myself at the time how glad I was that I hadn't dragged the boat over to Cleveley's. Then I thought no more about it and just headed for home. It was only later when I switched on the TV for the early evening news that the full impact of what had happened actually began to unfold. As I expected, small boats had gone out, and in particular a group of 3 from Blackpool's South Shore Club. But sadly, they didn't make it back. With me here today is Mick Riley, the sole survivor of that tragedy. It must be hard for you, Mick, to put yourself back into the mindset of that particular trip, especially as you lost friends that day. But let's start by going back a little further in time to the evening before. You're checking the weather forecast, you're making preparations for an early morning start. What exactly were those preparations?
I rung Dougie and Ted up, Dougie, and he said, yeah, it was fine. So we checked out Coast Guard, and then we looked at paper and everybody said it was going to be a fine day. There were a few boats going out. So morning come, and then we looked Coast Guard up again, and that's what he said, it's going to be a fine day, but just what there's a forecast coming in later in the afternoon, around about 3 or 4. And I said, oh, we'll be back by then. And I said, that's fair enough then, but just keep an eye on it. Went met, it was like a mill pond when we got there. There was only us going out from Squires Gate, but there were probably from your club, there were 2 or 3 boats out there as well.
We're talking about a situation probably more than 20 years ago. So can you describe the kind of boats that we had back then and the safety gear being carried? Because obviously the boats were a lot different shapes, a lot smaller engines, a lot smaller boats.
It was a D-John, mine was. No radio, but had flares, life jackets, all the stuff you should have done that time of the year. Like it's all changed now, and I can't think what sort of boat Dougies were, like an open deck one. And we followed all the regulations that year in that club.
No, I don't actually wear a life jacket all the time, although I carry them. I know you should do really, but it said in the press cuttings that you weren't actually wearing life jackets, you weren't even carrying them, it said.
Oh, I were, definite. I had 4 in mine, a definite. I'll be honest with you, I know Dougie wasn't wearing one. Ted were, because he floated up, but he couldn't have got him. Oh, I put mine on. As soon as I pulled my anchor in, put my jacket on straight away. I had 4 jackets, about 10 flares in a cartridge, and then they had some bigger ones.
So just moving back a little bit,
yeah.
You started off from the South Shore, you started heading up towards Cleveley's to fish. What were the conditions actually like when you set off?
It was flat.
Absolutely flat?
Absolute flat. Well, I opened it up mine, I went straight there. I think Ted and Dougie stopped at Nert Tower, but I carried on. And like I said, there must have been 3 or 4 boats out from Cleveley's club.
And you started fishing, and the fishing was going well?
Oh, it was very well. I'll admit I had a good catch, but unfortunately I didn't get them home.
When you looked out to sea, and you could see that there was something just not quite right.
Well, it started to blow a little bit. You know, a little breeze started getting up. And then if you look over out to the horizon, you could see it black, like there was something happening. It started blowing up, white horses started coming. And I thought, oh, this is time to head back. The time I got my anchor up, got engine going, it was like quite getting really rough. By the time I got to North Pier, it was just horrendous. I thought I thought I wasn't going to make it.
So you decided to pull your anchor up and make a run back down to South Shore?
Yeah.
What sort of distance are we talking there?
You're looking 2 or 3, 4 mile higher.
What kind of distance off were you as well?
Well, I won't say we're that far out, probably half a mile.
And the conditions were worsening all the time while you were travelling?
Yeah, they were getting worse and worse, yeah.
What kind of wind strength did it get up to? And I believe I've read things in the paper.
10. They said it get up to about between 9 and 10 it got
Yeah,
to.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And at what point did you decide it was going to be an emergency? Did you let some flares off?
I did, yeah. Well, when I got near the tower, I weren't getting in North Pier. I weren't getting anywhere. And I thought, well, I'm not going to make it here. It's too far. You know, water were coming in, waves were coming over, and I thought, well, just let them go. So I think there was a taxi man saw them, and the man on a push bike, and people on the pier saw them. Well, I was crying at the time, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know to beach it, jump in and swim for it. I didn't want to, because I just knew I was going to drown at the time.
Yeah. Well, I've been in situations, nervous situations like that, where I thought the boat's been going to go. It's a long, long time ago, and you get this. Well, I got this horrible feeling of weakness, like I didn't have any energy to do anything.
No.
Like if I'd have fallen in the water, I couldn't have saved myself anyway.
No.
But in January, like this was, freezing cold, you would have died of hypothermia.
Oh, you would have done. You just drowned. Tide, waves were just going over you. That's what I was frightened of, just going into the water. I could swim, but not in that.
No.
You know, and then when I saw people on promenade and on pier, I thought, this is it. I'm definitely going to go here. It was a good little boat, but it wasn't good and big enough for the conditions I were in. But touch wood, it saved my life, that little boat.
Yeah.
You
If
know?
you had a swam for it though, I mean, you wouldn't have made it anyway.
Oh, no.
I think with the cold and that, but you would have been dashed against the wall.
Well,
How
this
would
is
you
what
got out?
Well, you wouldn't have got out, would you? Because I were up at the other side of Central Pier, so water was up at the beach. That's why I was going to beach it at the tower.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought with them big waves, and if I swung it round, I might have gone over the boat.
Were you taking plenty of water?
Yeah. Oh, I'll be honest with you, it was up to there. I mean, it's going to sound funny this, but it wasn't at the time. But fish were swimming around the bottom of the boat. And they were like, some good cod.
Yeah.
They were swimming on it. They were swimming at the bottom of the boat because I just caught them and still alive.
So what kind of size were the waves that were coming in?
Oh, well, one covered all the boat at one stage, went over the top of me. I thought that was going to knock me over because they're all coming over the side, and I was like trying to steer the boat and had a bucket trying to wash water over. That day, my youngest son, Paul, were going to come out with me, and I think if he'd have come with me, I don't think both of us have survived, because I would have been more concerned him than trying to steer a boat. So there's some reason he couldn't come. We weren't so well, I can't remember now, but he were going to come that day with me. And I'm touch wood now, I'm glad he didn't.
And what was the actual sequence of events when the Coast Guard came out?
Well, he came out when inflatable ones. He said, will you be alright for another few minutes? There's another one following me, but there's some lads have gone over at Squire's Gate. And I said, yeah, go and get them. So it wasn't the time they left me, the other one come behind me then. And he told me to leave my boat. So I threw anchor over. And then I jumped into their boat. And that's when they took me in then.
You actually made it into the boat, did you? You didn't end up in the water?
Well, half of me did. I was on edge.
Right.
And then I fell in. And then they dragged me in. And then, I sat in boat and I had my knee on the petrol pipe, and engine started cutting out on dinghy.
I bet you'd be thinking, here we go
I
again.
thought, bloody hell, what's happening here? So the manager got me in, and that's when everything were going on. Dougie's boat were there. And they got Ted in. Unfortunately, he died later in hospital.
What was the feeling like when you actually got in the lifeboat? The feeling of relief?
Oh, it was, because I said to her, I said, be honest with me now, how long will have lasted? I said, half an hour at most. That's if you hadn't been washed against wall. I was frightened. I was crying. I thought, this is it, my day's gone now, I'm no chance in this. Look, it wasn't a big boat, you tell what D-Johns are only small.
Yeah.
But it kept its strength, it kept afloat.
And I believe afterwards the press gave you a bit of a hard time as well. We've seen all the headlines of the sea of death, the man who cheated death, suicide sailors.
Yeah.
And what was all that about?
Well, we just thought we'd done something silly, really. We shouldn't have gone out because of weather and all that lot. And they were outside here. And, well, I told them, I said, we've got everything right. We run Coast Guard up, morning, got the paper, watched the television. Like I said, there was other boats out besides us, so they weren't just us. I said, we did everything right. And as soon as it blew up, well, we started sailing back then. But like you said yourself, you would have gone out that morning if you hadn't been working.
I definitely would, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so did you get the forecast?
Not that morning because
No.
I knew I was working, but
Yeah.
the previous night I looked at it and I was thinking, right,
Yeah.
I'm going to miss this.
Yeah, yeah.
And looking back on the events, what would your thoughts be on anglers that skimp on safety gear or don't wear life jackets or don't carry
I
safety
think they're
gear?
stupid.
And what was the actual outcome of the incident overall, looking back in terms of the rescue itself, how it went, getting the other lads out or not getting the other lads out?
Oh yeah,
the boats
I think the Coast Guard did the best because there was told by the senior lifeboat man not to go out. You only can go out on a certain height, can't they? A 7 or something like that. But they went out on a 9 and a 10, and they said we're going because we can see it, lads, and we're going to go save them. And they were brilliant. I go and see them now and I donate to them and that.
And you got the boat back afterwards, I believe.
Yeah, the engine were blown off and all my tattle, found some of my fishing tattle at Southport.
Southport?
Yeah, come up at Southport, some rods, reel and I've often got a little box, about that big, a little red box. Used to have plasters in and I used to put all my hooks and stuff in that and I found that at Southport.
What happened to the other two boats? Were they lost?
Well, there was only one other boat.
Well, there was two of them in the same boat, were there?
Yeah, there were two lads, Dougie and Ted was in the same boat. They were like only 50 yards off Squire's Gate. You know Squire's Gate, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Well, the slip and the wall, well, with tide coming in, it causes a swirl.
Oh, right, yeah, right off the corner of the wall.
Yeah, big swirl on waves. And they said if they'd gone a bit further up towards Southport and come in that way,
Yeah.
they might have survived. Well, they spun it round, with waves going all way, which way another, it's knocked them over. The thing, Dougie got knocked out, or he used to have a long stick on his engine at the front. I think he's been steering down and that's hit him, knocked him over. It's like I said, he didn't have I was told he didn't have a life jacket on. I know Ted did.
Was Ted the one that was got out of the water, but...
He died later, yeah. Hypothermia he died of, and a heart attack, I think. He died later with 6 weeks, I think, when they found Dougie. Found him up at Cleveland's way, I think. It's always, when I go to Blackpool, I always think about it. I always go into Coast Guard, see lads, you know, won't remember me.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Knowing what we should do in terms of personal safety and actually doing something about it are for most of us two completely different things. Hopefully then, hearing what it's like to be right there in the thick of it might make us think twice about taking chances and of not investing in ourselves. Always remember, there are no pockets in shrouds. My thanks then to Mick Riley for reliving this tragedy with us in the hope that we might all learn something positive from it.